morning, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving to the Americans. What is going on, people? I'm seeing the regular homies in the chat. I see Abdullahi Moomin already. I see Pano Footy already. We're loving life. We're loving life, folks. Another win. Chelsea did not play very good, but a win is a win in the Conference League. It's Thanksgiving here in the States, so if you're in the States, happy Thanksgiving. And that you're watching this sometime between noon and 3 p.m. Is pretty crazy. Should be having dinner with your family, arguing about the election. But we're happy to be here. Not going to be very infrequent that we get to stream Conference League games, so it's pretty cool. Man, Chelsea win 2-0. The stats are more favorable than the game felt, if I'm being perfectly honest. Basically, even shots. Chelsea had a lot of big chances that they miss, like so many breakaways. My goodness. And really, the star performer of the day is Philip Jorgensen, who keeps a clean sheet while having a blinder. I think, actually, if you look at the Conference League, I'm pretty sure he is now the best goalkeeper in the tournament. Let me see. I was looking at this the other day. Save percentage. Goals prevented. He's second behind this Welsh guy who's probably getting peppered every game. So, pretty nice for ye old Jorgensen, who I thought was very good today. We'll talk about some stuff with him. This game is actually, somewhat uninteresting to talk about because it did not go the way I thought it would, in that we did not see any of the players I wanted to see. Raksaki came in at the end, which is whatever. Tyreek George came in at the end, which is whatever. We didn't see Keanu Dyer, which sucks. We didn't see these guys for, real time, which sucks. But, this is Heidenheim are a real team. I saw people, kind of mad and called them, a Bundesliga 2 team. They're not. Heidenheim are a mid-table Bundesliga team. So when you're talking about, okay, we play Southampton in the league midweek next week, I think this was actually, a really good game to see what these guys look like. And they did not meet the standard that you would hope for. I would say Jorgensen was really good. I would say that I thought Guiu was okay. I thought Nkunku was okay. I thought Nkunku was pretty good, actually. I thought Mudryk's goal was a very, very good goal. But other than that, I thought it was a thoroughly unimpressive performance across the board. And now, if I'm looking at Southampton, the only players I would be really itching to start against Southampton are Nkunku, Jorgensen, and Mudryk. And I probably play Tosin. I wouldn't feel too bad about that. I'm not gonna get the tactics board out because there's nothing to talk about there. Chelsea did the same thing they always do, and they got some chances in behind. Josh Otter says maybe it has something to do with the difference in how Bundesliga defensive lines are set up. I haven't watched it all, but assume they're still a high line heavy league. Yeah, Heidenheim are very deep for the Bundesliga. In their league, they're one of the least pressy teams. But they pressed a ton in the second half, and Chelsea didn't do anything to get them behind. But I'll scroll up and see, because some people had some stuff. Pano Footy, happy Thanksgiving, nice to see you, dude. Was our offside trap really good, or were Heidenheim very crap? Yeah, I was wondering about this, because I think they had a lot of offsides around the box. And we've talked about the I don't know if if FOTMob has offsides in here. Yeah, 6. we've talked about the like Pellegrini style offside trap on the edge of the box, and it's been like not great. And I think again it was like it's caught them off for like really big chances, but also there were like the Paul Vanner chance where like he gets slipped through and Jorgensen makes the unbelievable 1v1 save. Like that's them trying to play that line, and it didn't really work. Sander Green Carlson on the My Kid Jorgensen. Jorgensen Green Carlson's a crazy name. Yeah, like I think the line thing kind of worked today, but also I don't know. I'm not about it. Joe Tillett, I know the politics around Sanchez and Roberts, but when do we think he gets a PL start? Yeah, I think the Southampton game is the one. I think the Southampton game is the one for Jorgensen. I mean, I'm in a place where like somebody was like, "Oh, like, are you changing your opinion on thinking Jorgensen is terrible?" And like, I feel like I probably need to clarify. I don't think Jorgensen is terrible. I think he's fine. I thought he had a really good game today. I think he has been improving in the Conference League for sure. I think he's fine. I also think Sanchez is fine. I think Sanchez's flavor of fine is probably better for Chelsea. I think Sanchez is like a little bit better of a passer than Jorgensen. Who like Jorgensen plays like these like Kepa lofty ones all the time, and like Sanchez's are like pinged. It's like even though he gives it away, whatever, Jorgensen gives it away too. Like Sanchez can like really actually threaten depth, which I think is very valuable. And Sanchez is a much better cross taker, though Jorgensen did collect lots of crosses today. I thought he had a really, really good game today. And I'll like plug myself that when we watched him in the summer, I said he's very good at 1v1s and he has bricky hands. He pushes everything away. And that's what happens. He made a couple really good 1v1 saves today and he has bricky hands. What else? Mudryk loves those runs to the penalty spot. Yeah, every player loves that like cutback. That cutback. Like it feels really nice to hit. And it was a very, very good finish. Like he's sniped it. Like very, very, very good finish. It was a nice goal. I didn't understand why Vega overlapped Sancho on it. But I thought it was like a really nice combination with Dewsbury Hall and then a pretty good cutback and all those things. Like it was fine. Who starts left winger Saturday? Maresca hinted Cole and Zhao won't be here to stay. Won't be here to. I don't know about Cole, but like I assume. So like Neto is supposed to be available. That's what Maresca said yesterday. My expectation is that it will be Neto starts as the left winger on Saturday, and it'll be Neto, Palmer, Madueke. That's my guess, and I think I'm like fine with that because Villa are like pretty aggressive with their fullbacks, and I think a big thing for Saturday is that Villa play a really high line. Really, 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 really high line. And it would definitely be worthwhile to get someone who is going to run in behind. And I think Neto is much more likely to run in behind than Mudryk or Sancho. So like I would for sure... I think I would choose to go Neto as winger. I mean, I would be super into Nkunku left winger because he's so good running in behind, and Villa's line is really high. I would be super, super into it. But I don't think that's going to happen. Sancho played great. Will Southwell. Sancho played great. Have you got any thoughts on how you would work on his shooting hesitance? He was a consistent above XG finisher in the past, so don't think it's a technique thing. So, if we look, this is a Bundesliga thing. Because... Sancho, you're correct. Also, I got rate limited by FB Ref now, and I just get like stuck and I can't look things up because I opened like 20 player tabs at the same time earlier. So I actually don't even know if I'll be able to pull this up. I don't think so, which is very funny. This is very on brand that I got rate limited by FBref as a real person. So take that how you want. Somebody just said, everybody like and subscribe. Absolutely, dude. I'm about it. So on Sancho, right? Like he was an XG beater when he played with Haaland. And everyone's an XG beater when they play with Haaland because you're getting like these crazy passes in the box and like weird transitions. I think Sancho is like probably a fine finisher. He's very technically gifted. And I think the thing with him is like he actually just doesn't shoot. He wants the pass. And this is the thing that I was very hesitant about signing him at all, is that he doesn't shoot. He never shoots. He never has been a big shot volume guy. He's been better than this, but he's not a big shot volume guy. And today, like the only shots he takes are like from a terrible angle that gets blocked, and he should have shot more. And I just think like that's what he is. Like I am really hoping that Chelsea have a clause to get out on minutes played on him. I really hope so. Because I don't think it's a worthwhile player to have in your squad. I think he's useful. But I think Tyreek George is useful. Like, if you ask me how different does today go if you play Tyreek George there instead of Jadon Sancho, the answer is not different at all. Perhaps better. Sancho really, like, look at this left back, bro. He's 100. And I don't remember Sancho, like, clearing him to create something really good or to get a shot all game. He has, like, the really nice slip for Dewsbury Hall and the cutback for the Mudryk goal. And I really can't remember like much else being very valuable. He's a really good passer, but he's like very mid defensively. He doesn't get shots for himself. He's not like, he doesn't have the pace to beat people. Like he doesn't have, like he's a much better 1v1 dribbler than Mudryk is, but Mudryk will like, when he wins the space, he's just like, meet, goodbye. So it's tough. I don't know what to do with him. I would like, I don't know. If they have a clause to like get out of buying him by not playing him, like I would, goodbye. Go play Call of Duty at home or whatever. We missed loads of chances. We need more back-end midfielders. I don't think we like need to buy more back-end midfielders. Just like play Chukwuemeka and play Keanu Dyer. I'm so mad Keanu Dyer didn't play today. I knew it. And Nkunku and Palmer double tens from Abdullahi Mumin. Yeah, I mean, I'd really like to see that. I would really, really like to see that at some point. And I think Nkunku playing in the pocket today was like a good sign for that, to see like, okay, what does it look like? And that Nkunku still got 4 shots. He scores a goal, like should probably get a second one. Like you're pretty happy with Nkunku today, I think. Will KDH start a league game this year? Yeah, definitely. He'll start a Christmas. One of the games around Christmas, I think. I also thought KDH was like kind of fine today. Like his connection stuff around the box and like ability to arrive is like actually pretty good. It's not terrible. Gusto is also available. Joe Tillett, Josh Otter. I know you're higher on Guiu than others. And somebody asked, Fuzzbrain asked, what can Guiu do to be a better player? Would it be valuable to have him as our primary backup striker, moving Nkunku to the pocket full time? Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see it earlier in the Conference League, like against some of the worst teams, but like I think it's valuable to get Guiu minutes. The other thing I'm curious to see if the club explores is like, does Guiu go out on loan in January? Because I think he needs to play. Like he clearly has something. There's clearly something there. Like Heidenheim are a mid-table Bundesliga team, and he took 6 box shots today. Like that's real. That's not nothing. I mean, Armando Broja, I think in his whole career has not taken a game with 6 shots. Thomas Wilkinson, are you going to do the tier list today? Absolutely, buddy. It's coming out. I just got to find it. I think I bookmarked it, but I got to find it. Yeah, like the shot volume is real. Like if you look at his last however many games, like the dude is like, okay, Noah, he scores and takes, I don't know, like 10 shots in the first half. 3 shots. All right, I lied. But 3 shots and a half is pretty good. He plays half an hour against Panathinaikos. What did he do in that game? No shots in that game. I don't know. I quite like Guy. I think there's like, I would probably loan him and go buy like a real backup striker, so Nkunku can be a full-time pocket guy. But I think that's fine. Rich money makers. We need a backup striker. Maybe loan him to get experience. Yeah, I'd be open to that. Still not ideal, but he can probably be sold for profit at the price they're getting Sancho for. Yeah, the thing with Sancho is like it really depends what the wages are. Because if he comes in on, well, like his United wages are gargantuan. So like that's already a thing that I'm like, I don't know what money he's coming to Chelsea at. But if he's on like, say, 100 grand plus a Champions League escalator, you're not moving that contract. Nobody is paying you to take that deal. And that's why I don't like it. Is like at 20, you have to sell him for 30 million and find someone to pay him 100 grand. Like I looked at this a while ago. There are 30 teams in Europe that pay a player 100 grand or more. It's like all the Premier League except for like 2 or 3, a couple teams in the Bundesliga, a couple teams in Spain, a couple teams in France, a couple teams in Italy, and then like 2 teams in Turkey. And that's it. That's the entirety of Europe that pay 100 grand a week to a player. You can't sell to yourself, so that's -1. You can't sell to teams better than you because otherwise you'd be keeping him. So that rules out like 8 to 10 teams. Maybe let's call it 6 teams if you want to be really aggressive with where Chelsea are in Europe. And like, now what? Like that. So okay, you can't sell to 10 of those 29 teams or whatever it is. I don't know. Now what? Like, are you going to sell him to Everton or to Roma or to Juventus or something? Like, I don't know. I just don't see that happening. So it's very difficult to move those wages. The Blue Yank, big up. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's go. Absolutely. Where would I rank Mudryk in terms of finishing? I think Mudryk's probably a pretty good finisher. He strikes the ball really well. I think the problem with Mudryk is he has really bad shot-taking decision-making. He like just shoots from wherever and like is not super concerned about his locations. And he doesn't have great volume, which is like a thing that is frustrating with him. Like Mudryk is actually very similar stylistically to Sancho, but with more turnovers and much quicker. But like his skill is much more passing than it is dribbling or shooting. Yeah, that's my Mudryk take. But if he can be a shot guy who consistently arrives to the back post, he had another arrival at the back post today for a header. I think that was pretty nice. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Thomas Wilkinson, do you feel any particular way about Joe Shields? Because he seems to be well thought of by fans. I would really like to see him recruit players he hasn't signed before. I mean, I still think the off-field stuff is like pretty bad. Like, I think there's still too many players. I think they're still trying to buy too many players. I don't really know what's going on with that. And I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the names they're linked with. I don't like the names they're linked with moving. Like, if you, like, Disasi was so bad today. Somebody brought up Disasi and Josh Achimpong. Like, I don't love that either. But the on-field is good. And if you get back into Champions League while the on-field is good, and if Maresca is legit, which I think is still an if, but I think he's probably better than we all expected. If Maresca is legit and you get back into Champions League, there's a lot of runway to figure it out. A lot more runway than you would think. Shreyansh, what do you think we do with Mudryk? It feels like he's made 1 step forward. He goes 2 steps back. Lack of awareness defensively coming on against Arsenal made me sad. I think Mudryk's been fine. Probably a step back from last season, in my opinion. But I think you're getting to a point with him where, like, he's just not going to play that much. And that's fine. But I think, like, you give him all the Conference League games the rest of the season. He comes on as a sub in the league games. He's still going to hit 1,500 total minutes. That's fine. But I think next year you have to make a decision about him and about Sterling and about Sancho and about Neto and about Felix and about Tyree George. Like, you have real decisions to make in the summer. I had heard, like, Chelsea had legitimately very interesting loan offers for him last January. I don't know about the summer, but, like, I would be open to a good loan for him because he's got to play a lot. We'll see on that one. Reporting that Jadon was on reduced wages in line with the rest of the team. Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of incentives to say one thing or the other. Like, I don't know. We won't know until, I don't know. We won't know what he makes. Why do you think the club wants a new right center back? Fofana, James, and Acheampong, if he stays, seems like enough to me. I mean, Acheampong's very young. Like, I don't think he's consistent contributor to the first team yet. I mean, Tosin is there, but I don't think they love Tosin. Like, I think Tosin, I still think this, is that Tosin is, you know, in Football Manager, when, like, you have wage budget, so you sign a free transfer player just to sell him to make profit the next year. I think that's Tosin. They clearly don't like Chalobah, who I think is good, and they clearly don't like Disasi. So now it's like, okay, you probably do need a right-footed center back, especially if it's not going to be Gilchrist, who is, like, probably a right back for them. I would be super into, actually, if they, let's say they're, like, fixated on they want to move on from Disasi, Tosin, and Chalobah. Like, I think you can bring in Gilchrist and he can eat all of those minutes, and that's, like, pretty cool. But at the same time, like, Callum, especially because you can't shift Fofana with his wages, like, I would be so down to bin Fofana. I think he's fine, he's good, whatever, but he makes so much money and he's, like, so erratic. I would be super fine with moving him for a really good right-footed center back. Orek, is it anything you see that makes Maresca an if or just not enough games? There's some things I don't like. I still don't like the subs, really. And I think he has been, like, a little bit conservative for my liking. Like, the big games have been very, let's shut it down, turn the game to mud, which is, like, fine, but I think there's value in being able to turn the dial the other way, which he did against Leicester. So, like, that was a big, the Leicester team being much more aggressive, even away from home against the terrible team, was a big green flag for me. That team being much more aggressive was super helpful. Like, I really hope, my guess is Villa will be, like, pretty conservative. Like, I think there's a very legitimate chance we get Palmer as a winger, as the left winger, and we get Enzo, Lavia, Caicedo, midfield three against Villa and against Spurs. I don't know how likely it is, but I think it's possible. But I think that's fine for those games, but I really hope the Southampton game in between, they, like, really play a quite, not open, but they play a legitimate team to, like, actually go at them. Wasa's here. What's up, Wasa? Hi, will be a fun team for Astana. Yeah, I think it will be a fun team for Astana. I know CFC Central is going to that one. He's flying in. I think a few others are. So that'll be a lot of fun. I actually, I think I'm gonna buy a ticket to Europe for the weekend of the Conference League final next week as a little present to myself. But I think I'm gonna try and go to the final if we make it, or at least I'll be in Europe so I can go to I can get an easy flight or train to the final if we make it. Callum Ross, is there a right center back in the world you'd take in a heartbeat if Maresca continue with the formation used against Leicester? So if we're going to do the thing where it's like right fullback becomes right center back, I don't know if I'd be, like, itching to buy anyone. Like, I'd keep Chalobah and do that. But if it's like right center back becomes middle center back, or right center back becomes outside of the three because your left back joins the three, there's lots of right center backs that really interest me. But I think I want to save a lot of the transfer stuff for January and for the summer, because I think there will be a lot of time to talk about that. And like right now, like I don't think Chelsea are going to be adding in January unless there's outgoings at the same time. The only position I've heard Chelsea being really like looking around for is a defensive midfielder, because Enzo Maresca wants a defensive midfielder. That's the one that I've heard, and I think a few other people have said. So I don't feel bad saying that. And like Cassidy, I thought was not great today, and like these Cassidy Dewsbury Hall defensive midfielder partnerships stink. And I would be very surprised actually if Cassidy was here after January. I think this is one of the other things is like there are many fewer Conference League games after January. I mean, it'll end up being about the same, because I think it's 8 group games and then 8 knockout games, or 6 knockout games depending where you finish. 7 knockout games, 6 and then 1. And Abdullahi Merman heard Goldberg say Maresca really wanted a tall destroyer type. Yeah, the one I heard was like Onana, that they were like, oh man, we really want Onana, which would have been really nice. Was, I think RCB to right center back to right back fits Fofana to a T. I agree. I like him in that role way better than anything else. The thing I like about him is he gets like a real ability to like dribble and steal yards. Like there was a I want to find Twitter search is broken, by the way. That's why I did it that way. I'm gonna have to scroll so far back to find it. When do we play? Keep going. We played on the weekend. This is very exciting content. Whatever. On the weekend, the Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Forest, Leverkusen. We're almost there. There it is. This is what I wanted to show you. Fofana, like, nope. That's the one. Like, he just receives it on the switch and takes all the yards on the dribble, which I think is very valuable. A backup defensive midfielder would be the only thing I'd do in January, and sell and loan like 10 players. Yeah, totally agree. Game Raiser, happy Thanksgiving, man. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Happy Thanksgiving to my Americans. This is the real Thanksgiving. I will never acknowledge Canadian Thanksgiving again. Thomas Wilkinson, do you tune into youth matches? Are you too busy still? Because I was pretty impressed by Washington. Based on time zone and like my own life, I have not watched a youth game in a really long time. Because they're all like super early here, or they're like during the workday, so I can't really. I did watch a bunch of games back for the Tyreek George stuff, just to like get a sense. And like Washington is frisky. It's the thing with Washington is like, he's really interesting, and then you're like, actually, we paid $18 million for him. And then it's like, he's not interesting for $18 million. He is the same level as like Jimmy J. Morgan or Donnell McNeely or any of those guys. He's like who's the guy who's on loan to League Two now, who has like the funny name? I can't remember. Frankie Runham or whatever. Like, he's just he's like about the same as all those guys. So it's like, why do we spend so much money on him? And then you look at like him and Andre share an agent, and like there's Estevao dealings. It's like, I don't know what the deal is with that one. But that's my Leo Castledine. I like Leo Castledine. Like, I like Leo Castledine better than I like Washington. I was thinking Ronnie Stutter though. Ninja Gecko pulled that one. I was thinking of Ronnie Stutter. That is the funny name. Any thoughts on Lucas Gordon-Duath, Seb's favorite midfielder? I like LGD, man. He's legit. I do think there should be like hesitancy over why has he gotten stuck in Austria. Yeah, I'm still banned. I still can't check. Uh, yeah, I have some like hesitancy over. It's like why is he still there? Because he's been there for like 4 years now. Like he was there during uh he played against us in the what's it called Champions League under Potter. So I don't know. I like him though. I think he's legit. Like project price midfielder, I would be super into it. Like this is the thing, right? I think I think in terms of I'm rate limited too. I tried to scrape 6 years of shot data and they hate me. I opened 20 tabs of players earlier, just like clicking through the table, and immediately got rate limited. So we'll see how long I'm rate limited for. But yeah, like I would be much more into like Gorna Duath sized gambles than the like $30 million gambles we've had. Like the Vega deal, right? Like I didn't like Vega. There was nothing I saw in the data from Switzerland that I was like, I'm into this guy. There was nothing that I'm like super jazzed about with him. But you paid 12 million and he's been totally fine. And at 12 million he's totally fine. He's now Portugal international. Like you're for sure going to get profit if you decide to move him in 2 years, especially when he doesn't make very much money. Like that's the right size gamble. Whereas like these Jorgensen and even Petrovic, I thought they paid way too much money for. They could have gotten Petrovic for like legitimately 5 to 10 million less than they paid. Easily. But they tried to do it at like right at the end of a window because the Kepa stuff happened late. Like it was just a silly, whatever, a dumb move. Even though I like the player. Surely we don't buy or destroy with Andre Santos. I don't know. I mean, I think there's like... I am super curious if Chelsea would recall him. I don't think so. But I'd be kind of... Like, if you... Listen, I don't really rate Romeo Lavia. We all know this at this point. He's just not my kind of player. He doesn't do the things I like in particular volume. But like if you could move Romeo Lavia for what you paid and bring Andre Santos back tomorrow, I would do it tomorrow. Easily, wouldn't blink. I'd be super fine with it. So I think that's the path I would go. Wasa's not a huge Santos guy. Shame him. No, I get it. Like I still have lots of question marks about Andre Santos, but I've also seen enough in France, and we have a pretty good handle about how Liga translates to the Premier League. Like we know that all the like super passy, super ball winning midfielders in France, that the passing doesn't translate super well and the ball winning does. Right? Like we've seen this with Doucouré, we've seen this with a whole list of dudes now. Nampalys Mendy, all those guys. We have a really good sense now of... I'm seeing an LMAO. Onana, what are you doing? What happened? What did Onana do? Where's United? Oh, 1-1 versus Bodo Glimt. Bakayoko. No Bakayoko. We're not going there again. Zambo and Gisa, somebody like that. No, like there's a lot that does translate from France to England, and there's a lot that doesn't. And like I think the things that Santos does well, a lot of it will translate. Like the defensive stuff, I think it will definitely translate. The physical level will definitely translate. I think the passing, less so. And that's okay. Like, I don't think you're going to want to play I don't think you're going to want to play like Santos and Caicedo together, except for big games, right? Like, I think there's not enough passing in that as a pair. But I think there's enough ball winning there for big games that you can do it. So, like, that I think is a thing. But again, Lavia is young. Maybe he gets better. Like, I think he's definitely been better so far this season than he was at Southampton. That's 100% for sure. But he's just not my guy. Mafuzer, what do you think of Buati? I have no Buati opinions. I have none. Shranch, I thought Vega was not good today. Yeah, he is what he is. Comster, what are your thoughts on Andre Onana? Somebody reminded me that I have an old Onana video. I really like Onana. I think he's very good. He looks funny because he has weird proportions. He has very long arms compared to his small body. But he's very good, in my opinion. Thomas Wilkinson, off topic, but did you think Bakayoko was going to be good when he joined? And if not, what did he show that made Chelsea pay $40 million for him? Bakayoko was super legit at Monaco, and if he didn't rush to play because his knees were crocked and Chelsea had no midfield, so he had to play, Bakayoko would have had a very good Chelsea career. That Spurs game, like one of his first games, was unbelievable. The Spurs game at Wembley. The real heads know. Bakayoko was very, very good at Monaco. And, 2-0? Is that what I'm seeing? In the commentary, goal Zickernagel. It has a full... That's cool. Oh, maybe I can do a watch along like this. I'll just pull this up. That would be a fun thing to do. All right, cool. Yeah, no, Bakayoko was legit, but then his knees got crocked and like he could not handle the level. You look after that, he was like never even able to play twice a week. Basically the rest of his career. Etienne Capoum, that's a real like old name. Josh Otter, I hate Lavia so much. Every time I watch him, the defense problems are nuts. Yeah, he's very frustrating. Callum Ross, if the club brings back Santos next season, you have Enzo, Caicedo, Santos, Lavia, Maresca wanting an ADM. Do you think you lose one of those midfielders in the summer? Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Like, again, the thing that's very difficult, and I think Chelsea are going to have real problems with next year, is that the Conference League is great for rotation because you can play anybody. Like, there is nobody in the B team bad enough to not play Conference League games, as much as Disasi tries. Like, there is nobody bad enough to not play. The problem is if you make Champions League, which Chelsea are going to make Champions League, you cannot play your B team in every game if you want to advance. Like, you have to play a real team. And... okay, maybe you get lucky with the draw and like you have the two easiest games and like you can do a full 11 rotation for 2 games. But Cole Palmer wants to play Champions League games. Nico Jackson wants to play Champions League games. Levi Colwill wants to play Champions League games. So now you have to actually like manage your squad for the league and the Champions League. Like Mo Salah has played 99% of Liverpool's minutes this year. Chelsea, like maybe Cole Palmer can be that guy. He played a lot last year, but like that's very difficult to do. And is a much harder squad rotation problem for Chelsea next year. So when you think about like all the defensive midfielders, like you can't do like a Caicedo Santos play the Premier League, Lavia Enzo play Europe. Like you can't do that. But at the same time, like if your coach is good, and this is one of the things where like you ask me what's an if with Maresca, I hate the subs. Like you have to use the subs well. Like, you have to recognize, okay, we're 2-0 up in the 60th minute of the Champions League against, I don't know, Roma or whatever. Caicedo, you're coming off because you're going to have to play 90 on the weekend, and we're going to get 30 minutes of Santos here, and then the same thing's going to happen, or whatever. But, like, you have to do that. How does this team scale up to play UCL? There, we just talked about that. ZZZ, do you think Dewsbury Hall could be shifted soon this summer? I would be shocked if Dewsbury Hall played on this team next year. He doesn't make enough money that he's stuck here. You paid a decent fee, but you can probably get the amortized remaining back. I would bet a solid amount of money that you sell him for the remaining book value in the summer. I would be very confident that he is not a Chelsea player after the summer. Because he's young and like wants to play is the sense I get. Like, yeah, like I think that there's value there. Wants to think we'll sell and loan a bunch of players next 2 windows. Yeah, for sure. I think there's like there has to be a big clear out coming. I think the really weird thing is like Chelsea moved a ton of players out this summer. Like if you look at all business, what was the KDH signing for? It's seemingly less and less like Maresca asked for him. I think it was like kind of an opportunistic gamble on someone who had unbelievable championship metrics and like an easy way to like give Maresca a treat on the way up. But I think from the beginning the signing didn't make sense. Chelsea had too many players in his position. But yeah, like if you look at like 1, 2, kind of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 of like 17 first team players out in the summer. A lot of those are like whatever. And so now like you look at the like larger Chelsea stable rather. Like there's still a lot of players to move. Like if you go to the full squad like of just first team players, like if you made me talk about the summer now, Bergstrom doesn't come back. Fine. I think Disasi finds a move. He really wants to leave. I wouldn't be shocked if this happens in January. I think he stays. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes, but like 50-50. Think he stays. I think Chilwell is gone at some point. I would bet actually like a decent amount of money Chilwell goes to United to play as like the proper width holder left wing back for Ruben Amorim. Stays. I think he's gone. And all of a sudden that's like 3 players who played today. And you've cleared a lot of space. Maybe goes. Who knows? Fine. Probably goes. Probably gets a loan. And that's the first team. And then I haven't even gone into the U21s and the guys out on loan and whatever. So, I don't know. There should be a lot of guys that'll move this summer in January. Fuzzbrain, what backup striker would I go for? Actually, Abdullahi Mumin. Do I have opinions on Muka? Muka's good. That's all. The few games I've seen of him, he looks really good. I hope he plays against Shamrock Rovers or in Astana. I think he's legit, and I think giving him a debut and then like minutes now is like a good place. Terrified we bloat the squad again with players. Maybe. Nkunku stays even after all the rumors, and Nkunku will not leave. I'm very confident of this. If he does, Chelsea will get a big fee for him. And maybe they do. Maybe United are super into it, but I don't think so. He makes a lot of money, and he's quite good. And there's not that many teams who can pay what he will cost. I think he'll stay. What backup striker would I go for? I've said this a few times. Like, you need a bruiser type, like, crash the front post. Like I said on Goldberg's post-game show, like, Chris Wood was my answer, which is, like, he's 32. Like, it's not going to be Chris Wood. But, like, that kind of guy. I don't know. My brain is empty right now. But that profile, like, big bruiser, crash the near post, be a sub to come on and win the game. And then, like, between Nkunku and Jackson, I think you're fine to cover the rest of the striker minutes for most of the things. I think, like, you could do, like, Palmer as the striker minutes as well, which we've seen, like, if you were really stuck. Welcome, Mehdi Taremi. Yeah, like, sure. Like, think Giroud, but cheaper and doesn't expect to start. Like, you need a guy who can play 1,200 minutes all as a sub and will score 9 goals. Like, that's what you want. We were linked to Delap earlier. I'm not into Delap. He like is on a hot finishing streak. I don't think there's anything there. Like, I would love Omarad. I would love if we came back to Omaradian. I would love if we came back to that deal in the summer. 50% sell on. He only cost Porto 12 million. Like, can you get him for 30? They bank a quick profit. Atleti get a chunk. Like, can you bank him for 30 or 35? I'd be pretty into Omaradian as a backup. And it's, like, real pressure for Jackson. Comster, DCL, no. Too injured. But, like, right profile, but too injured. Josh Otter, it's crazy we didn't get the Samu deal done. It's the miss of the summer for me. Like, that's the only deal from the whole summer that I'm like, I wish. A couple Kendry Pais mentions, yeah, like I don't think he's going to be close to playing for Chelsea. But like, let's see how Strasbourg goes. I'm excited. And like, you have Estevao. Estevao is going to play, so like a winger has to go as well. It's another one to think about. So we'll see. What I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see this, and I don't want you to see this, but I don't know where I put it. Here it is. All right. Strand Larson if Wolves go down. He's interesting, but like not the player I would be looking for. Let's see. Let's see if I'm still banned. Pais and Anasi double tens at Strasbourg will be fun. Totally agree. Yeah, like this is not enough for me. Like, I'm curious about David. I'm curious about, I don't know, like let's see who pops. So like, okay, if you want to laugh, is this gonna like yell at me? No. If you want to laugh, like a pretty common thing that I will do is I go to a player I want, and then I'll go to a player I want, and then I'll be like, okay, who is similar to that player? And then just start there. So like, I like Samu. I think he's really good. He has a lot of goals and a lot of XG. But I don't like anybody on this list. Højlund is interesting. Lukaku, obviously. But, like, they're not what I want. So, like, okay, I'm going to go back because Chris Wood was on the other page. I'm going to go to Chris Wood. See who pops here. It's a lot of the same guys. Dovbeek has scored a lot for Girona last year. All right, now we're getting to like too expensive. This Acor Adams guy has popped up a few times. Let's see about that. Not that big. Nope, that's not the one. And then you kind of just like wander around and you do this for a few times. Have a look at Kevin Denke. Kevin Denke is so good, bro. Kevin Denke is gonna rip MLS. We don't even need to go to Kevin Denke. For those who are unaware of the Kevin Denke-ness, Togolese or Togoan, I don't know what the official like demonym is for people from Togo. Togan. Kevin Denke is from Togo. Has destroyed the Belgian league for multiple years, and he has signed for FC Cincinnati for a league record $17 million. Yeah, he is very good and scores a lot of goals and is like the perfect age profile. Yeah, Kevin Denke's legit. I think the thing with Kevin Denke is like he's not he is like probably not good enough to be really good in a better league. So like him going to MLS and getting paid a ton of money, I think is smart for him. Boni, Angyoan Boni. Let's see, plays for Parma. Yeah, sure. He's young, maybe. But you can like cook through. I really love Thuram. Like when he was a free transfer, I really wanted him. I thought that was a really good like backup striker, but he ended up getting a lot of money, which is not great. Tati Castellanos is like MLS legend. This guy just scores goals for fun. He's like the XG beast, but always finishes way behind his XG, which is really funny. I clearly have a type. Ante Budimir like wins a million things in the air and is old, but like that profile is not awful. I think people are gonna get really, really into Sesko, but I'm just like I just can't get there, man. I don't know what it is about him, but I just can't get there. Like, he's very large, and he shoots a solid but unspectacular amount. And he's good. He's obviously good. And he's probably a plus finisher. But I just can't get there. I just can't get there with him. What do you think about Brennan Johnson being a low shot volume guy with not great metrics at Nottingham to whatever he is right now? Do you think Neto is potentially to be the same? So, like, the thing with Brennan Johnson is that, yes, he has popped big time this year. However, if you look at his Forest metrics, right, the shot volume is really low. But then when you look at the possession-adjusted attacking stuff, like Forest just sucked and had none of the ball. Like if you go to the 2023 Premier League, like Forest had 35% of the ball. So if you take them to Spurs, who are a 62% of the ball team, 63% of the ball team, so double his shot volume, which, like, that's not really how that works, but double his shot volume, all of a sudden it's like, okay, this kid is, like, actually maybe interesting. And there's definitely some player development stuff in there. Like, he looks really good this year by comparison. But we'll see. Do I think Neto will be the same? No. No, I don't. I just don't. Maybe. He does more. He does more than Brennan Johnson did. But I think Neto has, like, his skill set skews too passy. Like, Neto has always felt like wingback adjacent to me, which is why I like him on the left more than the right. I really don't like him on the right, even though he scored a nice goal there 2 weeks ago. Evan Ferguson, are we interested? Nope, not anymore. 2 years ago, I would have paid $60 million for sure, and now he's had like multiple ankle surgeries. Not in a million years am I touching that development path. Think he's probably going to be pretty good if he can stay healthy. Not touching it. What's the chance that a low volume guy becomes a high volume guy? This is very funny. I had a great conversation today with Kerry Cameron on Twitter about this, and Sam, CFC Central. Very, very, very rare. Very rare for low volume guys to become high volume guys. It is so uncommon. It is way more common. So, like, this is one of the things I like about Guiu. Right? If I go to Mr. Marky Mark, okay, Guiu is not great. Okay? He is not great. Let's be perfectly honest with ourselves. He is not a great player. That's a lot of shots. I'm pointing at my screen with my hand. You can't see my hand. That's a lot of shots. Look at it. He does nothing but get shots. He takes so many of them. And they're really great shots. Yes, it's tiny minutes. I understand. That's fine. I get it. He constantly gets shots. Every sub-appearance, shots. Even the preseason games, 3 shots every single time. Doesn't matter. He just gets loads and loads of shots. That's so valuable. I would buy low. I would buy on this player way, even though it's tiny minutes, way more frequently than I would on the opposite, guys who finish. Like, we know shot volume is way more stable than finishing is. Way more. Like, look. I pulled this up earlier. By the way, Tony Alhaber, great follow. This guy loves it. This guy is really, really good. This is finishing year over year. So you have goals divided by expected goals for 1 year. I'm pointing with my hand. You can't see it. Goals divided by expected goals for 1 season. Goals divided by expected goals in the next season. There's no trend. It's just closing your eyes and throwing darts. There's no trend. It's not predictive. Shot volume is way better. XG on its own, way more stable year over year. You know how you get more XG? You shoot more and you shoot from better spots. And that's how you get more goals. Abdul Rafu, Kieran loves shots. I do. It is like the currency we trade upon is shots. Because shots become goals. There's a guy in Norway who shot 56 times for no goals. Is it Morten Gamst Pedersen? Guiu seems to have that 3-cell striker brain where every chance can be a shot, and there is a thing I love about that. Guiu, if Guiu was like 25% better, I wouldn't even think about buying the Bruiser backup. I would just play him way more. He's like not quite good enough, and I think he has like a legit chance to be really good. So I would loan him because I think there's a real chance he can be actually good and he has to go and score goals somewhere. But he is like so like a bull in a china shop striker, which I think is like a really good fit. I'm kind of into that for him. And it's and like he's 18. He's 18 years old. Like that's good. Like I think I've said this on stream before. Like I used to have a scouting filter that was like, you are under 21 and you take 3 shots a game and are not a striker. And it's like all the players are amazing. They're all really good. Anyways, that's I think Guiu is a perfect loan and flip. Sadly, there's a loan cap now. Yeah, like yeah, he'll get a good loan. It's so funny seeing Guiu praise after being bogged down by Seb's view on him. Seb's view on him is not incorrect, though. This is the thing. Like, Seb's view on him is that he's not that good right now, which is objectively true. I think the thing with Guiu is, like, he's definitely way better than, like you, okay, compare Guiu to Washington, and he is miles ahead of Washington, in my opinion. Guiu is not that great. His like hold-up game isn't great. He's like pretty good defensively. I think that's like a real skill. But his hold-up game isn't great. He doesn't link play super well. He's like snatches at chances. He gets rushed really easily. Totally valid, but he's also 18. But he is way, way ahead of other 18-year-olds. Not even close. There are very few 18-year-old strikers as good as him, in my opinion. But yeah, like you loan him to second division Spain or Belgium or Holland. If you loaned him to Holland, he would score 20 goals. Or Belgium, he would score 15 goals. It's very easy to see why Barca sold him. Yeah, very different stylistic fit. He's never going to be that guy. He's never going to be like a link and connect and he's going to fucking run and bulldoze you. He's going to bulldoze you. I get angry when I watch him, but he's a real trier who looks like he has room. You know what he looks like? He looks like Broja before Broja got hurt. When Broja could still run and ragdoll people. And then Broja got hurt and can't run and doesn't try. I shouldn't say that. Of course he's trying. But Broja does not make lots of runs. It blows my mind that fans are writing off players since they're performing at top level. Exactly, yeah. Off topic, what do you think happened to Mount? Is it body breaking down? Yes. Hip injuries are brutal, bro. Hip injuries are awful. Put him at Cercle Bruges, replace Denki. Yeah, Cercle Bruges is like a weird club. They got some like weird stuff going on with them in Monaco. I knew their old manager because he coached in Toronto for a while. Yeah, let's see. Okay, we have a tier list. Somebody made the whole squad. It's not a Broja jab. I want Broja to succeed. I just don't think he's that good. It's fine. Loved Southampton Broja. I did not like Southampton Broja at all. But we'll put that aside. Listen, we're going to go through the team. I know we're going to change the names. This is going to be title starter. Okay. Actually, I think I just have the one with the names changed. No, I don't. Okay, that's fine. Title starter. CL starter. PL starter. PL bench. Non-Premier League. Okay, that's our tiers. This is how we're doing this. Omari Kellyman, your next prince after Havertz. No, I've not watched anything of Omari Kellyman. And Havertz at 17 had like 20 goals in the Bundesliga. No chance. Oh, okay. Bettinelli, non-Premier League. This is easy. That's fine. That's an easy one. Benoit. I don't know. I don't know what the consensus is on Benoit these days. Like, I think he was really good on the weekend. But then today I thought he was here. I don't know. What do you guys think of ye old Benoit Badiashile? Is he a Champions League level starter? So call this title winner, top 4, top 10, bottom 10 championship, if you were. Something like that. Is Benoit Badiashile a Premier League starter, Champions League starter? I don't know. I will rank them within their tiers, Thomas Wilkinson. Yes. I will rank them within their tiers. Don't you worry. I'd probably have him at the end of this tier and the top of this tier. Something like that. He does play to the level of his partner. Big agree on that one. I think it's not even just his partner. It's also just the game. But yeah, I'd probably have him. I think I'd have him at the back end of here. Being a lefty and the passing stuff is super real. I think I'd probably have him at the end of that one. This one is easy. Definitely a title starter for me. Definitely title starter. Cassidy. I don't know. Probably here. I don't think Cassidy is very good. I think Cassidy should try to be a striker. I think that's what Cassidy should try to do. I think he's not a defensive midfielder, and that stinks for him. But I think I'd leave him here. Carney. Oh, you guys are going to hate me. Goodbye. No, Carney should be here. Bottom end of the Premier League. He's just not that good, man. He doesn't do anything. He can't. Look at Carney today. He comes on for 20 minutes in a game that is so bad, so stretched, and so terrible. Where's Chelsea? Nope, not Noah and Viking. Look at this. Noah, big draw for them. Let's go. Is there a Serie A tier? No. Serie A is mid-table Premier League for the most part. Carney comes on, plays 20 minutes, does nothing. There's just nothing there. Cassidy will have 250 appearances at Genoa. Bless him. He will, 100%. He'll have a totally fine career. He's a solid player. He's just not. I just don't think he's Chelsea level. And Carney is gonna be here for me. Levi, title starter, but I do think he's worse than Cassidy. That I think is legit. I don't think he's quite as good as. Conference League is all about the friends we made along the way. Absolutely. Us and Servette, we're boys. I hope Bully Clear Lake buy Servette to become another Chelsea team. That'd be so fun. But I do wonder if they're just going to buy blue teams. So I don't know who the blue team in Switzerland is. FC Zurich, maybe. But I hope we buy Servette. That'd be fun. Colwell, definitely title capable starter, but he's worse than Caicedo. Grasshopper, also blue. Carney will be homegrown if we keep him for a year. Really? The end of this season a year or the end of next season a year? Got to be end of this season, right? Oh, that's an interesting wrinkle. If he becomes club trained. I don't think it'll matter. I think they'll just sell him anyways, but that is an interesting wrinkle. Well, I have FC Noah and Servette notifications on now. Absolutely. That's fun. Mark Cucurella. How do I move you here? He's been this feels aggressive for him, to be honest. I kind of want to do this now. He probably is, though. He probably is a Champions League level starter. He definitely is. That's easy. You're going here. If you have objections, say them, by the way. If you have objections, hit me with them. Disasi, definitely a Premier League level starter. Just not for us. He's not for us, but he's a fine player. Felix is better than Disasi. I think that one's easy. Enzo. is here. That's where I'm going. You'd put him mid-tier. CL. Zowa, Kuku is PL bench. No way. Come on, be serious. KDH non-Premier League. He's not. KDH is like fine. Is a fine like Premier League level, not for Chelsea player. He'll go like Chelsea will sell Dewsbury Hall to like West Ham or to Palace or something like that, and he'll be like totally fine. Like lower mid-table team. Josh Rotter, I'd have Colwill over Caicedo just from type of player perspective. Colwill is more valuable. For sure, left-footed center backs are way rarer, but I think Caicedo is a better player than Colwill is. For sure, I would say. Thomas Wilkinson, I think Felix is a Champions League level starter. He could start for Milan. He could, but I don't think he could start for any of the 4 or 5 best teams in the Premier League. That I don't think he is. Yeah, I don't think he's a starter for any of the 4 best teams in the Premier League. Enzo could be a title starter. No, I don't think so. I think he has been like down enough that like I don't think he would start for City or Liverpool or Arsenal. He might. I think he will be very much towards the top end of this though. So we'll see. Fuzzbrain, KDH is a Brighton type player. Yeah, he I mean that was the deal, right? Like Brighton had a deal done and then he came to us instead. That I think is an interesting one. Fofana, probably here. Maybe here, depending on your flavor. I would probably have him below Cucurella, but then I'm like, am I just getting caught up in his contract? Like, I think because he's very injury prone and is very rash, I'd probably leave him there. Guiu, probably Premier League bench. He's definitely better than those 2 guys, though. So also, I saw somebody say Disasi will enjoy Newcastle. He absolutely will. Malo Gusto. Probably here. That feels very weird, eh? I don't know. I don't know how I actually don't know. Like you could probably justify. Would Malo Gusto start at right back for City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs with everyone fit? No, definitely not. So he has to be here. He's not. He wouldn't start for any of those teams. Like if Reece James is fit, Malo Gusto is not starting. So that's fine. Nico Jackson, title starter. Yep. Could totally start for one of the best teams in the league. Who? Would people be mad about that? Yeah, probably. But I think it's probably true. I don't know. Mallow and Wesley can't be above Premier League starter just for their injuries. Honestly, you're right. Honestly, no, this is getting ridiculous. Malo Gusto is much more likely to start than Badiashile. Way more likely to start than Badiashile. I don't know. Because Badiashile, I think Badiashile would start for Tottenham. I think he would start for... Not for Arsenal. I think he might start for City. Like, he would get real minutes for City. I don't know. That's very weird. This is like... I don't know. This is... I get real frisky about that one. I don't know. I'm going to leave it. Good enough to start for a title team, but he's always injured. So, like... I don't know. What do you want me to do with injuries? Should I move him down because he's always injured? Like, should he be here because he's always injured? Should he be here because he's always injured? Should he be here because he doesn't play? I'm going to put him here because, like, when he's available, he is obviously good enough to play for a title-winning team. Here, probably. He could start for a lot of teams in the Premier League, I think. I think that's a valid one. Yeah, that's a fun one. Well, so now just leave him there and I can cry. Okay, you know what's so funny? So next is Omari Kellyman, and for the first time I was like looking to find one of these, to find one that had the squad, I went through and just like went through. I had no idea who he was. I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I have to look it up. So I went to Chelsea's squad list and had to go look at all the pictures. I had to go look at all the pictures and be like, okay, that's Omari Kellyman. Nice. No idea. I don't know. He hasn't played. I'll put him here. I'll put him ahead of Cassidy because I know Cassidy can't play at this level yet. Lavia. Here. For sure. Here. That's where I have. There was a cricketer of Reese's build who had the same injury problems, and his team sent him to train with the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, that's interesting. I think Reese is just done, man. This is the fact. I liked that The Athletic put out an article today. The Athletic Reese James. Okay. I read this today. It's in the other leg that he had operated on last year. Chelsea have not set a date for his return. Blah, 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 blah. They admitted that it's part of his issues. No. However, the fact that this hamstring issue is a new problem in the right leg rather than the left leg he had an operation on is regarded as something to be positive about. Brother, what are we talking about? That it is more positive, that it's actually the other hamstring he had surgically repaired, not this one. Are we for real? No, this is so bad. This is so bad that it's the other one. Because he actually he can't. Like at some point, like I don't even know. I don't even know what. I don't even know how you handle this. This is such tremendous. The audacity to put this, to have a Chelsea person be like, actually, it's a good thing. It's his other hamstring. And to put this in print is fucking insane. Who would, just ridiculous. Simon Johnson is such a plug. Ridiculous. Just, he's so cooked, man. He's so cooked. Mudryk, PL starter, but worse than those guys. Here, I think that's fair. Pedro Neto here. That's gonna piss people off having him below Disasi. Disasi is a fine player. He's just not interested in playing for Chelsea anymore. I don't like Neto, man. Other people do. He's not the one for me. Oh, my iPhone just updated on its own, and it really confused me. Yeah, Neto not the one for me. Wow, so I'm running my own tier list of better and worse than Jorgensen. Goalkeepers at Chelsea? Or in the world? Or what? And Nkunku. I don't know if Nkunku can start for a title-winning team. He's too weird positionally, I think. I think he's very hard to fit into a title-winning team for me. Obviously good player, but I think he is a very awkward fit to make things work. But he's very, very good. I want to see him left pocket so bad, man. I really want to see him. Jorgensen is going to be the most middle player, by the way. It's going to happen. It's going to be a normally distributed curve around Jorgensen. It is. I can add additional images. Where would Estevao slot into this? Well, I'll talk about Estevao. Yeah, definitely title starter. He's very good. And Kunku is so bad defensively. I don't think I agree with that. I think he's fine. I think he's like total. I think he's adequate defensively. I think a thing Chelsea have done a lot of is they go by Red Bull guys who can press, but they're the worst presser on Red Bull, like Timo Werner and Nkunku, like guys who are like solid to good players, but they're the worst presser of the bunch. And then you like put all those players together and your press is just okay, and it's like, well, I don't know what happened there. Like that, I think a big part of why Timo Werner always looked better with Havertz is an excellent presser. Whereas like when you played him with like Lukaku or Tammy Abraham, who are like all just like either bad to mid defensively, like I think that hurt a lot. Nani's already there. Nani is one above Jorgensen. Nani snuck in one above Jorgensen. He's fine. He's like would start for like 8th, 9th, 10th. I mean, he starts for Chelsea, and I like don't think he should anymore. But that's a separate issue. Sanchez can put you right next to your buddy Jorgensen, your best friends. You're the exact same goalkeeper in different flavors. Tosin. Same spot. You are definitely better than him. You are probably here. And you are like up here somewhere. That's where I'm at. I think that's the squad. I don't think I'm missing anybody from the squad. I think when I checked that everybody was there. That's my squad. Yeah, Tosin goes into Midski. He's like, just like fine. He's fine. Gets his head on stuff, clears stuff. He's a much better passer than I anticipated, actually. Because Fulham like weren't really like that. The dude can pass. Timu brand bad Stuver. That's fun. Cannot believe how low Lavia and Sancho are. Bro, Sancho's not good. Sancho doesn't do anything. Like, he just doesn't. And I don't know how to reconcile that. He doesn't shoot. Doesn't go past people. He can't defend. Lavia, honestly, this is harsh on Lavia. But, like, if you think about it as best team in the league, top 4, top 10, 10 to 20, like, Lavia is objectively a 10 to 20 player. None of our wingers are Champions League level. Yeah, no, definitely not. None of them are. Like, Chelsea have played, I don't know, how many games have Chelsea played? 12 plus 4 Conference League, plus 6 Conference League games, plus 3 Cup games. So they've played like 21 total matches, something like that. Their wingers have a cumulative like 4. Let's go all competitions. The wingers have a cumulative 4, 7, 9 goals. I think Nani grabbed the one against Servette as well, so we'll call it 10. They have a cumulative 10 goals in like 17, 25, like, I don't know, in a cumulative like 30 90s of winger minutes. Like, it's just not, the wingers aren't that good, man. They're really not. They're really not. What transfer out this past summer do you want to undo? I don't know. Let's go pull up the old transfer market. Outgoing this summer. Lewis Hall probably is the one that you like squint at, that you like immediately pop at. Yeah, Lewis Hall is probably the one, if you count as this summer. The Gallagher one, I just still don't love the fee for. Like, at least the Maatson one, I can be like, it's a huge fee. I hate that you did the Kellyman thing the other way. But like the Maatsen one, it's like you're 45 million. I don't know. What level are guys like Martinelli and Kulusevski? I mean, Martinelli is probably not Champions League level either. Yeah, like I don't think I would have Martinelli as a Champions League level winger either. I don't think. In the past, yeah, but the last 2 seasons, I don't think I would. Kulusevski definitely is. He's like Kulusevski is, but Kulusevski is also like not really a winger. Like he plays as like a 10 a lot of the time, and he's much more like a passer creator type than he is like a winger. Yeah, I think that's fine. One thing I wanted to ask, how worried are you about the goal spread? I think this gives an idea about how average other attackers are, bar Palmer and Nico. But you think that hurts us short term? Yeah, probably. Like, I think, I've said this, that, like, Chelsea need to get shots from elsewhere that aren't Jackson and Palmer. And, like, I also mean that in terms of goals, not just shots. Was, I think I'd rather Madueke than Martinelli. Who? Would I rather Madueke or Martinelli? I'm going to say no, because Martinelli has in general been much more available and there's a much longer track record of performance. There's also, like, he's been pretty good in the league multiple times. So I think he's a better presser. Yeah, I think I would take Martinelli, but that's a really good comparison. Actually, you want to know what other transfer did we miss out on? Barcola last year. That was such an L. This guy's so good, man. This was such a miss. Barcola is like, if Barcola was Chelsea's left winger this season, do you know how good they would be? They would be unbelievable if Barcola was Chelsea's starting left winger. Oh my god. That's an L. And of course, like, we got Palmer. Like, that's the deal that we got instead. But like, imagine you got both. Oof. Yeah, Barcola is very good. I'm like Ryan Cherky curious as well, but he's like he doesn't defend. Tino Andrin, you will get your flowers. Is Tino playing at Empoli? That would be fun. Okay, Tino Andrin doesn't exist. Oh, I guess because it's Faustino. Olise hurts as well. Yeah, Olise does hurt. Andrin is playing and not doing much. Any other guys at Madueke or Garnacho? Another comparison. I would take Garnacho over Madueke every single day of every single week. Not even close. Garnacho's really good. Like, way better than his, like, public perception. Who could we steal from Lyon? Nobody. Rand Cherky is like the one. Cherky is the people like Nuama as well, but I'm not. I'm less. Also, like, Gift Orban has not panned out. I thought Gift Orban would have been a really smart Premier League buy for somebody 2 years ago when he moved from Ghent, because he was like putting up such obscene XG numbers, and it has not translated at all. Combating maybe. People like Kumbedi. Sorry, you guys are gonna get the sympathetic yawn there. Comps get Matic and clone him. Yeah, Matic would be a great fit for this team. Lefty DM, absolutely. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't think I would be super into it. Mikatadze is like pretty nice too. A lot of creative work, but I think a lot of this stuff doesn't translate that well to the Premier League. They have legit players. I was super into Tolisso when he moved to Bayern. He was like, I was very, very, very into Tolisso. Where does Doku rank among our wingers? Doku is better than all of our wingers, for sure. definitely, in my opinion. But he's like does one thing really well. It's a little bit different. All right, that's there. Villa. You guys want to talk about Villa? Because we have the Villa game on the weekend. I'm excited for that. I think it's a good learning opportunity. I think that's fun. Hold on. I'm going to grab a drink of water. Give me a sec. We back. I actually did not get a water. I got a Canada Dry Ginger Ale Zero. I did not get a water. Yeah, McTodd's is nice, man. Good player. So Villa. Villa. Villa are going to be fun because they're quite good. They'll put a lot of pressure. But they've been really bad lately. Like not winning matches. Somebody said they're winless in 7, which is crazy. Isn't Doku like Sancho in that he offers 0 goal threat? Yeah. Well, I think his goal record is actually like a little bit better than Sancho's historically. Let's see. He does actually shoot. The thing with him is like this though is crazy in terms of getting you into the box. Like, okay, 13 carries, 5 successful take-ons, 14 box touches, 20 progressive passes received, okay? Now compared to Sancho, who is very good, but, like, not even close. Not even close. And, like, the shooting stuff is so much less that it's just, to me, it's, like, not. I don't think it's that close a comparison. Villa, wow, that is not good. And that's a pretty hard schedule, to be fair. Oof, and some solid performances, but that is an oof. Yeah, that's a very unfortunate stretch of results from those performances. Hopefully it continues. Yeah, I think the thing with Villa is like we actually match up pretty well against them. Like if you look at the games last year between us and them, so like this one is even on XG, but we lose, and I think that we took a red card in this game. Yeah, 58th minute red card, and up to the red card, it was 100% us on the XG. Like if you look at the red card happens 58, so before that, it's like big Jackson chance, but it's like all us in terms of XG. They have like shots, but not really good. And then the second game, we beat them 3-1 in the FA Cup. I don't really remember that game. We draw 2-2, and this is the game Conor Gallagher 6-1 in the top corner. But again, we win the XG. So, like, I think their line is so high, like, I think we'll get at them pretty well in this game. And I'm really excited for it. I had a dream, though. This is how I know I have a problem. I had a dream this week that Chelsea were beating Villa 4-1 in the 75th minute, and Caicedo came off for Romeo Lavia, and we lost 6-4. And I missed the game for some reason, and I came home. All right, I was like following it on FOTMob on my phone, and it like me interpreting this in my dream was like I'm following it on my phone. And I can see, we're up 4-1. All right, Caicedo off the rest. Great. And then I'm driving home and my watch is buzzing. And I wake and I like check my phone and it is 6-4. And I think that's like coloring my Lavia in that tier list because fuck that. So yeah, that is what it is. Josh Otter, good practice for the Spurs line. Yeah, for sure. Somebody asked how I compare the promoted teams. So what I do in the promoted teams is the championship winner is whoever comes 17th or 18th last year. So this is 18, 19, 20, and this is first, second, third. That's how I do it. I don't do it by what position they finished in the league the year before. I do it by how they actually did. It doesn't actually work out that well, but that's how I have it. Like this is where we're at now, ladies and gentlemen. Very fun. So yeah, I think like looking at it, given how much better we were against Brighton this year compared to last year, who were also a very very highlight team. Like, yes, okay, we melted them, but this is the last game of the season last year, and there's a penalty in there. We were sorry, how much better against Brighton this year we were than last year, and this is the last game of the season. I think like we should be pretty good. Like we've done quite well against the highlight teams this year, with the exception of Bournemouth. And Villa's press is not nearly as good as Bournemouth or Brighton's press. They're like kind of squishy defensively, which I don't really understand. The other thing that'll be fun is that they're very good on set pieces. So like we're gonna learn some stuff. Yeah, like Villa 15 XG and 12 is like fine. But like they've been losing a lot of games and had to chase. So like they're getting the game state in their favor, where like comparatively Chelsea are getting the game state against them, which is an interesting wrinkle. People are really high on Angelo Stiller. Have you seen him play? No, not really. I know people like him, but he can pass. I've watched a little bit of Y-Scout stuff, but he can pass. That's where I'm at. By the way, like looking at this, I was so surprised this week. So I was in Vegas last weekend. I was in Vegas last weekend for the F1. So I watched the Leicester game from my phone because my flight was at 5 a.m. and the game was a 4:30 kickoff. So I watched the first half while we were boarding, and then I watched the second half on plain Wi-Fi. And so I didn't like check the year-over-year comparison stuff, and I was like, whatever. I was like having fun in Vegas and not really thinking about all this until I got home. And then I got home Sunday night and like sat down on my computer to like prep everything to record the next day. And I was like shocked how big of a difference this is year to year. Shocked. Like it's really... Chelsea were pretty unlucky to not make Champions League last year, but like this has been so much better. So much better. I need to get rid of this as well because this is no longer accurate because this is for the 25% mark. But like these differences are getting really big. Like this is huge, dude. This is huge. Yeah, giving up 35 baht. This Luton game, I remember being so mad watching. So mad. Like the thing to me that actually stands out the most, like more than the XG or like the XGA, whatever, like more than anything on this half, the thing that stands out to me the most is you just have so many, it's so much flatter. Like you look at these, you look at the shot fours, 16, 16, 8, 14, 16, 7, 21, 4, 12, 13, 10, 12. This year, way flatter. 10, 14, 13, 10, 12, 14, 22, 12, 17, 12, 17, 16. Like you don't have a 5 and you don't have a 35. Same thing with the shots against. It's like super flat. 11, 12, 9, 19. That's a lot. 15, 15, 16, 9, 11, 11, 13, 3. 14, 27, 7, 14. Like huge up and down. Same with the box touches. It's like pretty close to 30 all the time. You have a huge one against Forest because of the game. You have a low one against Palace. You have a low one against Arsenal, a high one against Leicester. It's super flat. Same with the defensive. Super flat. But then the defensive on the other side, 42, 18, 9, 46. Like, just last year was so actually up and down. Can I do... Yeah, I can. Okay, we'll do this. We'll do this right now. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Way smaller. Way smaller. Okay, let me make this like actually legible. Yeah, definitely goal difference a little higher. That's like because of the 4. XG a little bit higher, XGA a little bit lower. But like shots for is down, shots against is down, box touches is down, box touches against way down. Like in terms of standard deviations, like definitely way flatter performance wise. And again, it's kind of hard to do the year over year comparison thing because these all happen in a row, but they also all happen with like mostly midweek games in between. Whereas like this is the middle of the season, this is the beginning of the season, this is the end of the season, this is the beginning of the season, this is the end of the season, this is the end of the season, this is the second game, this is the whatever. Like it's very all over the place. Like you don't have nice trend lines, but Chelsea definitely are playing a much lower variance style. This is another reason why, like if you look at top 4 betting odds, right? So if I go to Odds Checker and go look at the top 4 betting odds, Chelsea are minus 170, minus 190, right? So if I go to the implied probability calculators and we go to American odds, minus 170, 63, minus 190, 65. Okay, the VIG is something like 2 to 3%, so call it 60 to 63%, right? A huge part of why I think that's a totally real number and why I'm a little bit higher than that, like my preseason had it at 2/3, 67%. And I'm higher. I would say it's like north of 90 now, if I'm honest. But where I had, to be honest, I'll be like the bookies that like they like pay out the bet early. If Chelsea come through Villa, Southampton, Spurs with 9 points, I'd say it's done. If they come out with 7 points, it's done. If they don't lose either game, I'd say it's done. But that's where I'm at. But like Jim John, I've always thought an interesting comparison would be game week 1 versus game week 1. Not completely accurate, but still interesting. I don't have it in here. I did have it at some point, and Chelsea were still better. Not this much better, but better. But Chelsea had like a cakewalk early season schedule last year compared to a quite difficult early season schedule this year. Like we didn't play the like murderer's row of like these 4, like Liverpool, Newcastle United, Arsenal. We didn't play anything super hard like that until like the 15th game of the season ish. Yeah, but so what I was saying about the implied probability stuff is like, I think because Chelsea are a much lower variance team, because you have better talent than 15 out of 19 teams you play, playing a lower variance style is good for you. You should play a way that you are consistently better than they are. If you're the worst team, you should play a higher variance style. So, Wasa, I was happy with 5 points from that bunch. Yeah, so 5 points would be fewer than our points total last year, but it would mean you don't. But it would be like you're giving Spurs 2 extra points compared to last year, but you're taking 1 away. You're taking 2 away from Villa. I'm much more concerned about Spurs than I am of Villa. Like Villa with Champions League, I just think do not have the squad to handle it. And like I just don't think they can. I'm much more concerned about Spurs in that race. So like if I would take 6 and you lose to Villa again over 5 and you draw both, I think. But if it's 6 because you beat Villa and lose to Spurs, I'm not about it. I'm not super interested in that. I think it's much more like can you cut Spurs off at the knees? A win, and again, I think 9 points is totally, and whatever, you can't lose Southampton. But yeah, I think Chelsea being, you meant 5 from Liverpool, Arsenal, that run. Yeah, putting up 5 is like a totally solid number. It wasn't distributed the way I thought it would be. I thought there was a pretty good chance we'd get 7. What are my actual score predictions? My actual score predictions, I think we'll beat Villa. I'll say like 2-1 because I think we'll score, but I think we'll concede. Like, they're very good on set pieces, and they're like a pretty solid attacking team, and they're very good at attacking teams who are defending. But I think we'll beat Villa. I'll say 2-1. I think we'll beat Southampton, and I think we'll lose to Spurs. I think Spurs will batter us. I think we're a really bad stylistic matchup for them this year. I think like the way they play is a buzzsaw for us, and like I don't think we'll handle it very well. We have struggled a lot with teams who press very aggressively, and they press very aggressively. My hope with Spurs is that the Vicario injury and the Van de Ven injuries and the Romero injuries add up enough that they drop a bunch of points over the next couple games. Like Fulham, Bournemouth, Chelsea are like 3 not easy games. So like last year they take 6 from that. If they take 4 or they take 3 or they take 1, like I think that's huge. And like Fraser Forster sucks. And their center back depth is not strong. And they do not have a deep squad to handle lots of midweeks. Like they cannot rotate nearly as much as Chelsea can. So I'm hopeful that like this I think is like the weird thing about next week, and why I'm kind of frustrated about today going so poorly is like I was really hoping that the B team would play really well today so that you can feel comfortable going to Southampton, and like you only start like Cole Palmer starts and Caicedo starts, and like you only start like maybe 3 from the first team. You don't play Jackson because you don't want him to pick up a booking. You don't play Colwell because you don't want him to get hurt. You don't play Fofana because you don't want him to get hurt. But like you play Tosin and Badiashile, and like you do play Caicedo, you do play Cucurella, you do play Gusto, you do play Palmer. Maybe you play Madueke. Like that's kind of what I was hoping for. But the B team is so shit today. Like I don't think you can do that. So that's my formal predictions on scores. We beat Villa 2-1, we beat Southampton 4-0, and we lose to Spurs 2-0 and get battered in our worst performance of the season. That's my prediction. And if I'm wrong, I can be happy. But I am very positive on my model-based betting this weekend, so we'll see how the next couple weeks play out. But yeah, I had a negative weekend this weekend, but that's okay. I didn't do that much research because I was going to Vegas. Alrighty. What else we got? We have 17 minutes left. We are going to go to 2 hours, and then we are done. That's what we're going to get to. So you have 17 minutes to ask whatever questions you want about anything. You want me to watch something, you want to talk about something, whatever you want. And that's where we'll get to. What do we got in here? Did Maresca do his post-match press conference yet? That's what I want to see. Comster, any chance you can finish third with City's craziness? I mean, it's possible, but I don't think so. I think more likely is we finish ahead of Arsenal than City. Because I think Arsenal just have so many injuries, and like their squad is not deep. They clearly can't handle no Odegaard. And like if Saka goes down at any point, they're so screwed. But I mean, it's possible. I think somebody asked me on YouTube, and I said less than 10% chance. Talk about Jackson's box movement. Yeah, let's talk about. Actually, I want to talk about Jorgensen too, because I said I was going to, and I didn't. Tough challenge tonight. Yes, very tough. Exactly. Small pitch, always complicated. We could score more goals. Sure. Beneficial to tough. Yes, better to play against the good opposition. High pressing, intense, whatever. Philip Jorgensen and Nkunku. Sancho had a good game. Axel, Cesare, sure, whatever. We have a game Sunday, then Wednesday, then we have 9 or 10 games in December. It's a game every 2 or 3 days. They're going to get chances, so they need to be ready. Yes, absolutely. Jaden's very important to us. We did not use him in the last few games. He's showing how important he is against teams that defend in a low block. Mudryk again. Did you enjoy Heidenheim? The castle was there. Great. Ask him about soccer, bro. Are you working on any other vids like the George one? No. The next player video will probably be Andre Santos because he's the player I'm most interested in. But it probably won't happen until the summer or until Chelsea recall him. Because he's a really interesting player to talk about because there's clear holes in his game, but also things he's very good at. I also haven't done a midfielder. I've done 2 wingers. I wanted to do a Keanu Dyer one, but he's not getting looks, so it's not worth it. But Andre Santos one I'll do, and I think the Andre Santos one will get a lot of views. Not that that's why I do it, but I think it will. Yeah, probably Andre Santos is the next one. But come the summer, because come the summer there's no games, so it's there's a lot more time to do player stuff and transfer stuff because I'm going to keep doing the podcast. I'm enjoying doing the podcast, maybe not weekly in the summer, but I'm enjoying doing it. And I'm enjoying talking about it because I get lots of questions and there's so many of you guys that not to be a dick, but when I just get replies to tweets, right? Twitter is such a mess that a lot of the times I either don't see them or they just end up in I'm just I'm not answering this. Whereas here, this format and the podcast is so much more interactive. There's a bunch of you. I'll tell you this. There's a bunch of people who are in the stream who I had muted on Twitter because you would send whatever. Somebody would send something annoying and I'd be I'm not dealing with this because the nature of Twitter was so adversarial. It was so adversarial. It wasn't fun. But I really like doing this. So, I want to keep doing the podcast. I want to keep doing the videos and, all that stuff. So, I think there will be many more player videos, but in the summer. This season, it's just, we play so many games, right? I've done an episode after every single game this season except for one. And except for one and then the first 2 games of the season. I think there's 17 episodes now. We'll do 60 episodes this year. So there's not that much time to do it. What's my background in? Were you a stats guy? Did you adapt through football? So my background, I played, hold on. So I lived in Ireland for a bit growing up. I played for a club called Cove Ramblers, which is where Roy Keane played before he went to Nottingham Forest. I was quite good as a kid, but my family moved back to Canada. Played in Canada. Had we'll call them trials. As a teenager, I broke my hip and then I broke my shoulder. Played for the provincial team. Didn't pan out. Was in TFC's academy for a bit. Didn't really pan out. I was I'm not that good. I wasn't that good. So I was I'll go to college. Didn't go to the States. Stayed in Canada because I wanted to stay close home because I was a scared little baby and I didn't want to move away. So I went to university in my hometown, which was one of the best soccer programs in the country. I did a physics degree in school, so I was very naturally mathematically inclined. Played in college. What position did I play? I was a goalkeeper. I was a goalkeeper when I played, but I was a sicko. I was also quite a good outfield player, so I played both. So I was a goalkeeper, but I would get subbed on to take penalties and shootouts and stuff like that. But I was a goalkeeper. There's a. Hold on. I'm gonna flex for a second. Let me find a video because you're gonna laugh. I'm gonna find a video. Videos. My videos. Hold on. Okay. Or you're gonna have such a laugh about this. If I play, can you hear the sound? Can you guys hear the sound when I play this?
That's why they got him in the field.
Let me know if you can hear the sound on that one. And I know I'm a little bit ahead of you, so I'll wait to hear if I can play the sound. Otherwise, I'll mute it because it's really annoying. But I don't know if you can hear the sound on the video. I don't know. Okay, we'll play it. Oh, you can. Okay, I'll just let it play.
He was going to shoot. I knew it. That's why they got him in the field. Who's going to blast it?
Okay, so that was like my college team where we hosted Final Four or whatever to qualify for nationals. So like I used to come on as a goalkeeper to take pens. Or I used to come on as a striker to take pens because our goalkeeper was sick. He ended up playing in USL. It was very, very good. So I played in college, was like, okay, I'm never going to be a pro, but I was like a decent player. Was always mathematically inclined. Towards the end of my time, I was like, okay, what do I want to do next? I still want to play, or I still want to like be around the game. It was like mid 2010s, so like XG was becoming a thing that people knew about. And I started coaching. Like a year after I finished playing. But I also got an internship for what I ended up going to grad school for. So I kind of went all in on grad school, but then was like, I'll coach at the same time. At the same time as that, I started talking to a lot of like the North American people in the analytics space, like people like Sam Gregory, who runs analytics for USSF, United States Soccer. He worked at Miami. He like helped bring Messi to Miami. Devin Pluler, who ran analytics for Toronto FC and now does like the larger ownership structure for all the Toronto-based sports teams. And spoke to lots of those people, started doing stuff with ASA, and was like, the more I was doing all the stats stuff, the more it was bleeding into my coaching, where it was like, okay, like I'm learning about XG and I'm learning about shot locations and all this stuff. And now when I'm coaching players, I'm thinking about tactics and whatever, like all that stuff was happening. And we were the teams I started coaching were pretty good. I had like a U21 boys team that had like legitimately the worst talent in the league and we came mid-table. From there, I was an assistant at a university women's team that had been historically pretty terrible. Our first season, we won a national bronze, playing like 4-4-2 suffer ball, and we were like analytics dream team. And from there, went to do a semi-pro team, was still helping with that team, and like coached for 5, 6, 7 years. At the same time, was doing my PhD in engineering, and then finished my PhD in engineering and was like, okay, what do I want to do? And then got a job to move to the States. And now I do this for fun. I don't coach anymore. I do this for fun. I still help out with... Some people ask me what they think about their teams or whatever. I had a call this morning with somebody about something. But that's my like background of how I got into this and like where all the stats stuff comes from. And it's like a very, like Twitter back in the day was very different. Like you could go DM or reply to the biggest account and be like, I want to learn about XG. And they would reply to you with an essay. It was a very, very different time. And now it's like, it kind of sucks. Like Twitter sucks so much now that like you like don't get those interactions anymore. And I will say, just to plug it, like come over to Blue Sky. It's way better over here. I reply way more frequently. Other people reply way more frequently because the interactions are so much more positive. Like I'll reply to this tweet later. Because it's just a way better space. It's much more like Twitter in the 2010s, is how I feel about it. Yeah. So that's that. That's the whole thing. I hope you liked that penalty, by the way. That was very fun. City, is it over? Title challenge. Yeah. They've dropped too many points, I think. I think Liverpool are, like, gone. Musiala flirting with Chelsea. Any chance of a move when his contract expires? I'd love it. You would have to pay him so much money, but I would love it. Where would Estevao go on the tier list? Good question. I don't know. Like, I think one of the things that's very funny about Estevao is like, why is this moving? I think one of the things that's funny about Estevao is like, we have no idea how Brazil is going to translate. Like, the other guys who've come straight from Brazil to the Premier League have not been good. And Vinicius took multiple years. Like, the only guy who's come from Brazil and been immediately good in Europe was like Neymar, basically. But Estevao now is playing almost at the level that Neymar was. He also joined a way better team. Way better team. I don't know. I probably would have Estevao down here somewhere. But I think he's going to like get real looks at Chelsea next year. Fuzzbrain, you're a physics major as well, which is lovely. Love to see it. We love physics major. Excellent degree. If you're science inclined and a teenager, highly recommend it. It's very versatile and flexible. Like, I went into materials engineering off the back of it. Thomas Wilkinson, have you thought about quitting your job and becoming a full-time YouTuber? No. I think my channel is eligible to like run ads and be a partner now, though. But I don't think I can legally do that while I'm working in the US. But I don't know. It'll be fun. No, I haven't like thought about it though. I also like my day job. We have such a similar background in terms of education. Fuzzbrain, if you're a fellow PhD, I'm so sorry. It was the worst. Nobody do grad school. Will Jackson intentionally get a booking against Villa so he misses Southampton, not Spurs? I think he will not get a booking intentionally, and if he doesn't, he just won't play versus Southampton, is my guess. ZZZ, Pais stocks fell off. He's good. He's just like playing in Ecuador. Like, there's no way he's ready for the Premier League. But I think he will get like half of preseason and then join Strasbourg, will be my guess. Strasbourg. I think he'll get a look in preseason to be like familiarized, and then he'll go straight to Strasbourg. That's my guess on things. Okay, Jorgensen. How am I going to do this? I want to show clips, but every time I show clips, I keep getting done by the copyright police, so I don't want to show clips. But here's my thing with whatever. If I watch Twitter clips, what if I watch Twitter clips? Is that okay? What if I watch this? That's very loud. Okay. There's no way I get done like this. There's no way. It's such a small portion of my screen. So, like, okay, here's a couple things I really like. And you guys have to live with the fact that these are really small. So that sucks for you, okay? Felix Johnson was saying Chelsea are discussing sending Achimpong to Strasbourg in January. Thoughts? Where did he say that? Because I would be super into that. Where did he say that? Hold on. Because I know people were talking about Achimpong a lot yesterday because of the contract stuff. Where did he say this? They would have to recall someone. No. Chelsea have an empty international loan spot. One idea has been made. Is Chelsea presented a potential idea for a loan to Strasbourg in the future? That doesn't mean January. That could be the summer. I think a loan to Strasbourg would be excellent for him because it's a similarly physical league. Like, I think that would be a really good move for him. Okay. Yeah. How do the copyright guys quickly? It's AI. I'm pretty sure it like looks at the screen and like matches the screen. So like normally if you cut the score bug, is there not a limit on loans at one club though? No, I don't think so. In the Premier League, you can have a loan. You can have one loan to one club. So like Chelsea could not loan another player to Southampton. But in Europe, I think you're cool. And I think in the EFL, you can't have more than 5. But I think in Europe, you're fine. You can do whatever you want. Unless France have rules that are like they can't have multiple loans in the same club. The other thing is like if it's the summer and not now, Andre is coming back and then you can send Josh. Like that's very reasonable. And like Petrovic probably will not stay there for 2 seasons, but maybe he does. But yeah, they like normally if you cut the score bug and enough of the screen, that's why I always have like the logos and stuff on the screen. It doesn't have it. But it's also if you keep the clip short enough, like apparently below 6 seconds, nothing gets caught. But when I'm doing the analysis stuff and I pause, it always gets caught. Like the Tyreek George video had to have so much cut out of it. Like the Tyreek George video did terribly in terms of views. Doing it as a live stream first was a bad idea as well. It like didn't really work very well. But it's been like really frustrating. A lot of the stuff is getting done this year. I don't understand. Like you look at the NBA. The NBA gets so many views on all their stuff because it's free. They don't let the copywriting happen. So the like public analysis of NBA is so good, and it's just not the same. So hopefully I don't get done here. So oh my god, that's so loud. Let's watch Jorgensen, see what's up. It's actually a really nice pass in midfield. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I say like 1v1s are good. And how do I... Nope, don't want to do that. Can I do like... What if I do like this? I want it bigger, but I don't want it that big. You know what I mean? Okay, we'll try it. We'll try it. And if it gets done, whatever. So, like... I think Jorgensen is so good at 1v1s because one, his like choices are pretty good. So like there's a really good I don't know if it's still gonna be. This is crazy. I feel like I'm 95 years old with it being so big. So John Harrison has a really great thread on like the choices of 1v1s and like what 1v1 decisions you make. JHD Harrison 1v1. Let's see if it comes up. Yeah, here we go. So he has this like amazing original research, okay? Basically, you take all the 1v1s and there are 5 strategies. So you can like wait deep and just save it. Here's the first one. You wait deep and you save it. Fuck off. That's so loud. Wait deep and save it. Great decision, right? Those decisions are really good for, if we scroll down to show you where they're good, where you make the decision. Where's wait and save? Here's waiting and saving. So bad angles and far out, just wait and save it. That's objectively the best decision. Right? So darker green here is higher probability of saving it. Red is more likely it goes in. Bad angles, further out, stay home and save it. Right? We watch the video, stays home and save it. There's other ones like the more central you get, the more important it is to like close it down or to smother or to make a wall or engage and block. Like that's really good from angles. Like the De Gea one is always the one that comes up. Engage and spread, so where you like make yourself really big, like the Joe Hart's, right? Like these technique decisions are really important. And so when you have this whole set of stuff, like I think Jorgensen does a really good job on these. This was really positive to me today. Like he was very active coming off his line to smother stuff, which was really fun. And very good, like, cutting out these whippy crosses. Wassa wanted him to come for a crazy cross. I saw your tweet. But this is, like, pretty good goalkeeping stuff. And I think, like, the crossing thing is going to be a really big thing for his development. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is, like, he's very blocky. Like, a lot of goalkeepers would like try and hold this, and he never does. Like he just makes a barrier to block. Same with this, like he doesn't hold that, which is that's a bad drop. This is a great save. This is another one that, like, if we go back to the waiting, like, here's the map here. Here's the shot, right? Like, he's just outside the 6 on the angle. Like, this is probably a really good place to sit and wait. And he does a really good job. Just make the save. The thing I like about Jorgensen compared to Sanchez is Sanchez would definitely have gambled back post. Like, that's the goal he conceded to Martinelli, is like he's gambling for the back post and he gets done at the near post because of it. Whatever. This is a good hold. This one's I really like this one too. So one thing I don't like about this one is when the cross goes wide, if you're going to cut this out, you want to cut it straight, but he cuts it like backwards. See how his like dive is not straight out? Like there are worlds where the strikers can get in front of him and score that there. But like it was a really solid Jorgensen performance. This one is great. This is engage and spread, right? So this is the Joe Hart one. So again, like maybe 10 yards out, but dead center. If we go look, so 10 yards out dead center, you wait, you get scored on. You engage and then react to the shot, also pretty bad. You come out and smother, maybe an option here. Engage and spread from this distance, not bad. Like that shot's from like right here. That's pretty good in terms of the color of all these chances. Like you're not bad here. Yeah, engage and blocker, engage and spread. Like this is very spready. So like I think that's like pretty cool. Like this is right on the edge of engage and blocker, engage and spread. So like we're talking about good decisions here. Good decisions here. And then that's a good reaction save as well. Like I think Jorgensen had a really, really solid game. Really solid game. That's a great little lob into midfield. Good hold. Great little line breaker. Whatever. I really like his starting position on this one. Look how aggressive his starting position is. So like ball goes wide. Like he's like set 4.5, 5 yards out. And the reason he can do that, and like this is really good recognition from him. Like this shot, it's an outswinger, so you don't have to be deeper. And like he's under pressure, so there's no way he's shooting. You can start really aggressively here. It's a great claim. I'm super happy with that. Super, super, super happy. Another one, whatever. Moves his feet. Really solid performance from him. I'm pretty happy with. I'm pretty happy with that whole thing. Hopefully we don't get done by the copyright gods on the back of this, but we'll see how it is. Anyways, that is all from me. We'll cut the day there. We went really long today, but whatever. We had fun. Everybody was here. If you like the streams, if you like the podcast, retweet it, share it, like it. This week's episode was like the most listened to podcast since the second or third week of, like maybe the third or fourth episode, which was pretty cool. So like it, subscribe it, share it, all those things. Leave a comment on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, a rating. I think the rating stuff really helps. But do whatever you want. Happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate. Another one for Chelsea. We'll be back on Sunday after Aston Villa. Keep the blue flag flying high and enjoy the soccer, my friends. And that's it. As always, enjoy the soccer. Take care.